Okay, everybody, hear me out for 1 second. I know it doesn't make much sense that she couldn't really beat Deathstroke, a super soldier type being, and how she got bested by him in fighting speed. Just hear me out, guys. I know this doesn't make much sense, but she was somehow able to take punches from a mind-controlled Superboy and Slugfest for a little second, but she couldn't beat Deathstroke? It just don't add up. But hey, every show writer makes their mistakes, right? By being electrocuted, she died. You know, there's a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. But I'll still analyze it for you guys. When she died and came back to life, it's implied that shocking stuff doesn't affect her no more, one could say.
Been there, done that.
It seems like after her death, the writers wanted to make her pretty much immune to electricity now. After that death, like, this don't even affect her no more. It's not many showings to go over, but let's get it. How strong is Donna Troy from Titans live action? She's basically a Wonder Woman 2.0, so you know she's naturally stronger than your average human, being an Amazon. There's other Amazons you see in this scene too. Amazons in this series other than her. So yeah, Amazons and Themyscira do exist in this universe, even though we never saw Wonder Woman herself. The difference between her and the other Amazons is that she's part human. You know how these hybrids are in fiction. Could be a reason why she might have an advantage over some of the other ones. I mean, when she gets into Slugfest with an Amazon, we actually see her get the edge over them. You know, classic Wonder Woman centric type weapons like the magic lasso. It technically has a full memory wipe in this lasso. She's not afraid to use during combat. She would even hit you with her lasso, like blunt style. Like she'll straight up hit combos with the lasso. One could say to extend her range without having to get near stuff. Her lasso's durable. They can take sword strikes from beings that are super soldiers. You can see the parries. And similar to the comics, her lasso can grow ridiculously long, like how Wonder Woman's can grow ridiculously long in comic lore. Like we literally seen hers go this high, reaching the sky in the clouds. She got devices that can track beings. And the same goes for her bracelets. They kind of remind me of Wonder Woman's bracelets, you know. There's implications she knows how to use a blade if needed, similar to how Wonder Woman can use a blade. And yes, she does have fighting speed, guys. Because I think we all can agree that she's at least stronger than your average Amazon when it comes to raw fighting speed and strength, or at very least comparable, right? You can get an idea of her powers or speed by comparing her to other lower tier Amazons, one could say, in this universe. Like, there's legit lower tier Amazons that can cut bullets in half with their fighting speed and throw shurikens or blades that hard. So right off gate, and the video hasn't even got started, and it's pretty much confirmed Donna Troy has the raw fighting speed to cut bullets in half. She can already technically do this. If lower Amazons that are not even really all that compared to her can do this, you know what I mean? Her hands are already ridiculously fast. So technically her fist can punch you faster than your eyes can perceive. She can punch you without even you knowing it technically off gate. This is an idea of her fighting speed. Before they can shoot, she reacted. Oh no, she can actually sprint at super speed like a blur. Like she took off here. If you pull out a gun, she would just blitz you before you can even shoot, showing her fighting speed. She lifts stuff like this with ease. Normal human, she can sling with ease. Super soldiers that have a lot of armor, she can sling. Little minor stuff like this, you can get an idea of her strength. Jumping real high. We've literally seen her do this to steel or guns. Motorcycles vary in weight. She can use her lasso. This didn't seem like much of a struggle of her being able to move 300 or even 500 pounds. Members of the Titans like Starfire that have super strength can't beat her in a tug of war really, but she was able to hold up all this weight even though she did get fried. It shows she had the strength to hold up all this still though. Like, I do think Superboy got the advantage in raw strength. There is implication she was able to kind of restrain him here for a little second. And we've seen Superboy rip thick steel doors off of hinges. So one could assume Donna Troy could be able to do this too if put in the same situation. Not to mention, we literally seen her ripping doors off the hinges to use as a shield as well. Armored vehicles, might I add. It's no surprise with all this super strength. She can punch really hard. She can easily kick doors down. Stuff you and me probably could do. Like punch it through windows. Or glass. Normal man, she can easily punch and send flying. Even if you're fully suited up, she can one-shot knock you out with her punching power. Members of the Titans that are pretty strong like her, Starfire, she knocked out with a hit. When we're talking about fire hydrants, she can just kick that apart like that. I brought this up earlier, but yeah, she can kind of slug it with Superboy. Even though it's implied Superboy got the advantage in raw power, even though she took a few hits though. Superboy can easily punch people, tackle people through walls, or even super thick walls Superboy can punch through like this. Donna Troy should be able to do this too, if we're being honest. I personally believe she can do more than this, but this is just like a nice bare minimum, her being able to punch through at least something like this with her punching power at least, right? If she can hold up all this, imagine what her punches feel like. I mean, it makes sense for her to be able to at least be able to punch through thick concrete walls at least. That's like bare minimum. She held up all this weight while she was getting hurt from the electricity. Thick brick walls don't stand a chance. Based on her slugfesting with a mind-controlled Superboy, that really had no reason to hold back because he was mind-controlled. They even pushed each other back here. If we're talking about her strikes with her sword, it's implied she can cut through thick chunks of tree like that with her cutting power, thick logs like that. Implying with one cut, she could easily cut down a whole tree by herself. The show didn't nearly have as much action as it should have had. But so it's really hard to give a real reading on how strong these characters are. The only best way we can understand it is comparing her to Superboy, really. Like, we want to understand her true limits, especially after resurrecting. It seems like her power increased. Like, we never saw this version of Superman in this universe, but we know he probably has potential similar to Superman, even though I would think Superman is above Superboy. We can kind of get an idea of Superboy's potential based on apparent stuff that this version of Superman has done already. When they was talking about Superboy's DNA in this scene, they were talking about how he's a guy that has the DNA of a guy that can lift skyscraper buildings. Obviously, it's no proof of stuff like this, but if we were to take that seriously, I don't see why they would lie about something like that. That's something he always does in comic lore. They're trying to imitate him in the show, blah, 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 blah. So if this Titans universe version of Superman can lift hundreds of thousands of tons, one could say he might be able to lift somewhere near that range, maybe half, maybe 1/4 of it, maybe 20,000 tons, 10,000 tons. Even if you don't want to say he's absolutely equal to Superman, we haven't seen Superboy struggle lifting anything in the show, so it's really not no reason to say he couldn't lift 50,000, 20,000, 10,000 tons. But yeah, that's lowballing. So if he can lift 50,000 tons, then she can't be far behind, right? Even though that occasion with Deathstroke was goofy, she has to be able to at least lift 47,000 tons. Like, she's somewhere in his range, if that makes sense. Even if they are nowhere near this universe's version of Superman, they can't be gazillions of times weaker, right? Skyscraper stuff seems pretty accurate. If we assume she can lift this much, which is an assumption because we haven't seen her do it, if we assume she can lift this much, imagine what her punches would feel like. Not to mention, technically, she can move her hands ridiculously fast too and blitz you. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine how hard her punch would be if she had this kind of strength and punching speed. At the very least, she should be able to support the weight of a house on her back, right? If we assume she can lift 47,000 tons because she's somewhere in the league of Superboy and maybe 1% of Superman in this universe, who knows? Maybe she can briefly support the weight of a building on her back with her strength. We don't really know the limits. She didn't seem like she struggled with anything after she got resurrected. I mean, do you think she can level or punch apart something this big or something with her fists? Imagine her punches being able to level something this big or tilt it over all the way upside down or some crap. But everybody's not much to go off of. She's got to be faster than bullets when it comes to her fighting speed, just like average Amazons can do. You know, stuff like that. Probably can punch with thousands of tons of force, lift thousands of tons, or maybe at least hundreds of tons. You know, it's a lot of speculation. But what do you guys think? How strong do you think she is? But before I get going, everybody, I got to say thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Donna Troy, though, in this universe. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.